The forgotten signal. The Galactic Council had erased all traces of humanity from the official records centuries ago. No archives, no history, no survivors. At least, that's what they believed. In the vast reaches of the Xiphos expanse, a deep space relay station detected something impossible. A transmission encoded in a forgotten language. Ancient. Human. The station's automated system flagged it as corrupt data and attempted to delete it. But before it could, the message was intercepted. Far beyond the Council's reach, in the cold abyss of deep space, something stirred. Something that should not exist. The awakening. In the shadow of a dying star, the UNS Revenant came to life. Deep inside the ghost ship, long dormant systems powered on. Lights flickered. Engines hummed. The cold steel corridors, once silent, now echoed with the sound of awakening giants. At the center of the bridge, a figure opened his eyes. Captain Elias Voss had been in stasis for 500 years. As he gasped for breath, memories flooded his mind. The war, the betrayal, the final battle that never came. And then, the last thing he remembered. Humanity has fallen. But now, something had changed. A signal had called them back. And that meant one thing. Humanity was not as dead as the galaxy believed. The Council's fear. On the capital world of the Galactic Council, Chancellor Aurel Vakra sat frozen in his command chamber, staring at the transmission data. "This is a joke," he muttered. But the look on his security chief's face told him it was not. "The signal is real, Chancellor," the officer confirmed. "It originated from a sector we marked as uninhabitable. The Dead Zone. A place the Council had forbidden all travel to. A place where no ships should exist. And yet, something there was responding. Something old. Something dangerous. How many know about this?" Aurel demanded. "Only this room, sir, but we need to destroy it." Aurel's voice was calm, but his mind raced with pure terror. If that signal was truly from humanity, then they had failed to erase them. And if humans had survived, then the Council's reign was about to end. Aboard the UNS Revenant, Voss stood at the holographic war table, his fingers tracing the galactic map. His officers gathered, each wearing the same look of disbelief. "Are we truly alone?" Commander Sarah Holt whispered. Voss shook his head. "We were never alone. They just made us believe we were." The Council had erased their history, destroyed their worlds, and hunted the last of them down. But they had failed. And now, it was time to show the galaxy why they feared humanity in the first place. Voss exhaled, looking at his crew. "Status report. Weapons online. Shields holding. Cloak engaged." And the fleet. A pause. Then, a slow, chilling grin spread across the tactical officer's face. "Sir, we are not alone. Beyond the void, the forgotten fleet. The Galactic Council had made one mistake. They assumed they had found every human ship before they erased them. But humanity had always been smarter than they thought. And so, hidden in the darkest corners of the galaxy, entire battle groups had survived. For centuries, they had waited for the call to arms. And now, that call had come. From the depths of dead space, warships began to emerge. Black, angular behemoths built for war. Silent, unseen, undeniable. The reckoning begins. The Galactic Council had spent centuries in peace, ruling as if nothing could challenge them. They had forgotten the one truth that defined humanity. They had forgotten that nothing stays buried forever. Now, the past was coming for them, and the message was clear. We are not history. We are the reckoning. The Council's desperate plan. The Galactic Council was in a state of pure chaos. Chancellor Aurel Vakra stood in the war chamber, staring at the emergency meeting's holoscreen. "What do you mean?" "They're responding," he hissed. The security commander shifted uneasily. "The signal came from deep within the dead zone, Chancellor. It was human. A chilling silence spread through the chamber. Counselor Vornak, a reptilian diplomat known for his ruthless efficiency, leaned forward. "I thought humanity was erased." "We all did," Oral muttered, his mind racing. But the screen in front of him showed a different reality. A fleet was moving. No records, no identification, but unmistakably human. Aboard the UNS Revenant, a fleet awakens. Far beyond the Council's reach, deep in the dead zone, something ancient was coming to life. The UNS Revenant, once a legend, was now a reality. Captain Elias Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the growing list of incoming transmissions. One after another, old human warships responded to their call. These weren't just any ships. They were the Lost Fleet, a secret force hidden from the Council's purge, waiting for the day they could return. The UNS Dreadnought, the UNS Valkyrie, the UNS Nemesis, warships from a time when humanity had ruled the stars, when they had been feared, before the Council had wiped them from history. And now, they were back. The message that changed everything. Commander Sarah Holt turned to Voss. "Sir, all ships reporting in. Orders." Voss studied the galactic map. The Council's fleets were mobilizing, heading toward the dead zone, thinking they could still erase the last of humanity. They were wrong. Voss exhaled. Then he spoke. "Transmit the message." The comms officer hesitated. "Sir, are we sure?" Voss's voice was steady. It's time they knew the truth. A single command was sent, a transmission that bypassed every security measure in the Galactic Council's network. A message to every world, every colony, every species. It was a voice from the past, speaking to the present. A message of warning and promise. The message that shook the galaxy. Across thousands of worlds, screens flickered. Every Council-controlled system went dark. Then, the message played. A human face appeared, Captain Elias Voss. His eyes burned with calm defiance. And then he spoke. "You erased us. You buried our history. You told the galaxy we were gone." He leaned forward. "You lied." Gasps filled the war rooms of the Galactic Council. Across the stars, people watched in shock. And then the final words rang out, words that would shake the galaxy forever. "We are humanity. We have returned." The screen went black. And across the cosmos, the war began. The Council's reaction. A fatal mistake. On the Council's capital world, the room exploded into chaos. "They're bluffing," barked General Threxar, slamming his fist onto the war table. "Are they?" Oral's voice was almost a whisper. His hands trembled as he zoomed in on the dead zone. The fleet was moving. Not just one or two ships. Hundreds. Warships of ancient human design, more powerful than anything seen in centuries. And at the front of them, the UNS Revenant. Oral took a shaky breath. "We need to strike first." A brutal silence filled the room. Vornak narrowed his reptilian eyes. "If we attack first, we make them martyrs." Oral slammed his fist on the table. "They are already martyrs." Then he gave the order. "Send the Armada. Erase them. This time, for good." It was the worst mistake of his life. The first battle. Humanity unleashes hell. The Galactic Armada launched in full force. Thousands of warships jumped into hyperspace, heading directly toward the dead zone. Their mission was simple: destroy the last of humanity. But what they found was not what they expected. As the first Council ships exited hyperspace, their scanners immediately failed. "Something's jamming our systems," a pilot yelled. Before they could react, the human fleet opened fire. Their weapons were nothing the galaxy had ever seen before. Ships vanished in flashes of energy, reduced to debris in seconds. The Council's fleet had numbers, but the humans had something more powerful. Technology centuries ahead of anything in the known galaxy. And they didn't miss. A fleet torn apart. The end of an empire. Council ships burned. Admirals screamed orders, but nothing they did mattered. The human fleet moved like ghosts, striking with unmatched precision, their ships vanishing before retaliation was possible. And at the heart of the battle, Captain Voss watched, not as a conqueror, not as a warlord, but as a man who had waited too long for justice. "Target the Council flagship," he ordered. The Revenant's main cannon powered up, a weapon designed to end wars with a single shot. Fire. A blinding light erupted. The Council's flagship vanished. And in that instant, the Galactic Council's grip on the galaxy was shattered forever. The Galactic Council's last stand. The Council's homeworld, Xiphos Prime, was in complete disarray. Chancellor Aurel Vakra watched in horror as the battle reports flooded in. The Armada had failed. The Council fleet was in ruins. Humanity was unstoppable. The war room was in chaos. Commanders shouted. Diplomats argued. Fear gripped them all. But Aurel wasn't listening. His eyes were fixed on the screen. A single message received from the UNS Revenant, a message that would change everything. Aboard the UNS Revenant, the final transmission, Captain Elias Voss stood on the bridge, watching the remains of the Council's fleet burn. It should have felt like a victory, but this wasn't just a battle. This was a message. Humanity had not come for war. They had come for justice. Voss took a breath and gave the order. Open a channel. A single transmission was broadcast to every world, every colony, every species. A final message from humanity. The transmission that shook the galaxy. Across the stars, every screen flickered to life. A hologram of Captain Elias Voss appeared, his face calm, but his eyes burning with purpose. You erased us. You buried our history. You lied to the galaxy. His voice was steady. And yet, here we are. A long silence. And then, the truth the Council had feared the most. Humanity never died. We never forgot. We never forgave. Voss leaned forward. But we are not conquerors. We do not seek revenge. We do not come as tyrants. His voice grew stronger. We come as a warning. The galaxy held its breath. Never again will any species be erased. Never again will history be rewritten. Never again will tyrants rule unchecked. A final pause. This is the end of the Galactic Council, and the beginning of something greater. The transmission ended, and across the galaxy, for the first time in centuries, the people had a choice: to fight against the forgotten past, or to embrace the future. The fall of the Galactic Council. Aurel Vakra sat frozen. The chamber was silent. No more shouting. No more arguing. Just defeat. One by one, Council members deactivated their links. Their rule was over. The Council had ruled for millennia. But in the end, they had fallen to a single truth. You cannot erase what refuses to die. The dawn of a new era. As the UNS Revenant and the Lost Fleet left the battlefield, they did not conquer. They did not occupy. They did not destroy. They simply left the galaxy with a choice. A new order. A new future. And in the hearts of every species, one undeniable reality remained. Humanity had returned, and they would never be forgotten again.